Hi, this is Delmar Johnson with Delmar Johnson Enterprise, and this video goes along with the blog that you're reading above, thinking about quitting your job, put it in writing first. And I wanted to do this video to give you 5 reasons and 5 benefits to actually keeping a work journal before you make that final decision of actually walking out on an employer. I want you to hopefully see it from a different perspective. So, number 1. Get a release and unwind. When you go home, take the time to actually decompress from the day. And then reflect on the kind of day that you had, whether it was good, bad, or in between, so you can get a better perspective of how to go into your next day. Sometimes we have to sit back, look at some things that happened for that day, write a few thoughts down so we can reflect upon how we can go into our next day, possibly with a better attitude. Number 2, take an honest overview. If you're anything like me, you make a to-do list of 10 to 15 things, and then at the end of the day, you find out that you only accomplished or checked off 2 or 3 things, and then you have these other, 12 things or so left on your list, and then you begin to beat yourself up. Don't do that. Actually, why don't you take that list that you have left and actually prepare you for the next day? That'll be your jump start to the next day. Sometimes we do things during the day that should have been on our to-do list, and we actually got them accomplished, but we didn't record them. Go back and put that on your to-do list and check it off. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. I do it all the time. Number 3, see your wins. We concentrate so much on the things that we didn't get done right that we forget about the wins that we had that day. We forget about the great meeting that we had. We forget about the great strategies that we came up with that will bring solutions to a problem that your employer may have been dealing with for a while, but we're so bogged down with the things that we think we didn't do right that we forget to look at what we have done, what we did do right, and we forget to look at what we have done right. Number 4, minimize mistakes. Now, if you don't look back and have a reflection on some of the things that have happened and that you may have had challenges with and made a mistake on, then how do you know how to go back and correct it? So writing those things down, writing those reflective thoughts down allows you to go back and look at those mistakes, to minimize them and possibly even eliminate them the next time that you're tackled with a challenge. Number 5, a new perspective on your day. Again, I go back to even the first 4 that talked about going back and reflecting on what it is that your day brought you and what did you bring to the day. So sometimes you have to get a different perspective where, maybe blaming the employee for this, maybe blaming the employee for that, but sometimes the reflection needs to go back on ourselves, like what can I do better the next day? What can I do to contribute to making my environment better for me and those around me? So having a new perspective and actually using your work journal to get any kind of frustrations and everything out of you actually helps you to think in a different perspective. So recapping real quick, get a release and unwind, go home and actually reflect on what your day was and some of the things that you can do to help jumpstart you for the next day. Take an honest overview. Don't beat yourself up about that list that you didn't complete on Monday. Let it help you propel yourself into Tuesday, and then you have a running jumpstart. Number 3, see your wins. Not that you should avoid looking at things that may not have been considered wins, but concentrate a little bit more on your wins, because that actually rejuvenates you. That is a motivation. When you say, you know what, I did a good job on that today. Give yourself a pat on the back sometime. Number 4, minimize mistakes. We have to look at our mistakes. We have to be honest with ourselves about, where those mistakes came from. How did you contribute to those mistakes in order to go back and develop a different strategy to minimize or even eliminate those mistakes in the future. Number 5, a new perspective on your day. If you take the time to reflect, take the time to write in your work journal, I can almost guarantee that you'll wind up having a different perspective the next day, the next week, the next month, before you make that hasty decision to walk out on your employer, because you may not only have to think about it for yourself, but you may have a family that you have to consider what kind of impact would walking out on your employer have. So I hope that helped you, in addition to the blog that you're reading, about thinking about quitting your job, put it in writing first. Please join me next week as I do part 2 of this 3-block series, and I'll be talking about employment landscaping and the 3 pillars that's going to hold it together next week. See you then. Bye-bye.